right, after a few stops at places we've been to yesterday, this is our first new spot, the Crawford Market. Now, I was told this was not going to be where we were going to go. We were going to go to the Kalaba Market, but I'm not going to complain if we're going to do both. I'm hoping it's a little bit more to it than what's on the outside. It doesn't look like much from here. It could use a good restoring, but we'll just see what it looks like. Oh wait, we're headed that way. Okay, so I don't know what I've been standing in front of. Well, I thought I was mistaken when we moved on, but apparently that was just the part of the market that we couldn't enter it. We're on the opposite end at the moment, just walking in. Our guide has told us to watch our step as we make our way through here, because it's as crowded as it gets. Haven't quite gotten to where it's terribly bad. Oh wow, I can smell the curry from here. More the powder than the actual cooking, but it's there, no doubt. Part of me just wishes I knew what specifically I was looking at in some of these things. There are some fruits that I have not tasted yet, but I wouldn't be able to know what I was eating even after I'd had them. Our guide tells us this is the season for mangoes, and the Alfonso variety is the king of fruits. Now, I've heard that term before about durians, so I take that with a grain of salt. But, you know, no harm in wandering about and seeing what they've got here. Well, I don't deny they have a lot of these mangoes. Okay, now it's a little more crowded, and it's back to that same oppressive feeling of if you express the slightest bit of interest, they're on top of you like flies on dead meat. And it's not particularly pleasant, but it is what it is. This is what I expected in terms of color. So I shouldn't have any right to complain, because this is what I'm kind of looking for. Both in terms of what they have to offer and in terms of just the sort of vibe to the place, for lack of a better term. I don't like using that term. It sounds so, how do you do, fellow kids? But, you know, it's a very useful expression, I'll say that much. They've got a few confectionaries here too, or at least they're just selling candy. But I've got enough chocolate back in my room that I don't think I'm going to finish in the next week, so that's not going to help me any. Maybe something more salty or savory, but other than that, there's nothing I can bring home yet. And as much as I might want to, I can't bring myself to go too far away from the rendezvous point, because we've only got 20 minutes in here. Now, I've picked up a few spices, but that's about it for now. So I'm just gonna try and wander around, take a few pictures, and see where that goes, and leave it at that. There's a lot here to see, and I'm not going to be able to absorb it now. I'm just going to have to wait until I'm editing this later. And then I'm going to say, why didn't I stop and look at this? But then again, if I do, I'm going to get stopped for much longer than I really care to deal with. There is a lot here, but whether it appeals is another question. One of the interesting things about this, especially the produce section, is that this is where people buy in bulk for warehouse, or wholesale, I should say. And basically haggling over the price, but buying 6 crates at a time, so then it takes a little bit more time because it's a larger purchase. It's worth the time. And now the place kind of opens up just as we're making our way carefully, because it is really uneven here, to the bus. Probably need to have it like this just so I can bookmark where one shopping district ends and the other one begins. But we're on our way out of the Crawford Market at this point. Now, I've picked up a few things, but certainly not enough to say I can go home with a good conscience. But then again, we may have another Vietnam situation here. We'll see.